all these accidents are avoidable. They are very preventable, but there are causes that we can easily avoid. But what is the government? What are we doing? Because you see now, we might think it's just statistics. We call them statistics. But statistics on human life, and then when people are dying out of corona or any other disease, it becomes a pandemic that the whole country has to take that very serious. But on accidents, which are killing especially the most productive people in their prime age, we are not taking any measures. And we have a whole agency which has been bestowed on that, known as the National Transport and Safety Authority. It is their responsibility. They are funded by our taxes to ensure that people are safe in this country. But what are they doing?
As much as we want to complain about safety, there's one question we have to ask ourselves as Kenyans. What have we done to prevent road traffic accidents? The answer is we have done zero. Because we have a standard into NTSA subsidiary legislation number 33 of 2012, section 5D. It was crushed, which means we have to look at what we have to call inputs. This is what we have uncontrolled risks. Then after input, we have in between a process. So a process is that act where that legislation is supposed to come in, but it's crushed. So this uncontrolled risk goes to outputs. So if it goes to outputs, now that's where you hear people like Professor Mutua says that border are rocks and are careless, because we have carried all those things to output. So now outcome is the consequence of the failures. So where is the failures? The failures is that the government has crushed road safety. Is not there. We have a standard. The standard is ISO standards, because they're the accreditation the whole world. Yes. So they developed a very good standard, ISO 39001 2012. Since 2012 it has been lying into our legislation. It has not been implemented. So when I was in Netherlands, I decided to resign the job to come and help, because I saw our country suffering to 2022. So when I came, I developed a system myself. I struggled, I registered with all my finance. After registering, I had the staff, very qualified staff. We went for accreditation with the NITA. We put the company is running with everything. We did ask for opportunity, not money, opportunity to assist them. But the government is moving to triangulation. I used my own money to go to court, but all the people we call stakeholders in this country, they are not helping anyone. They're in politics. So this politics has really affected the improvement of road safety, because as we agree, Mr. Muluma is here and he will agree with me that they have no any association which is umbrella. So government take advantage of them. Also, NTSA cannot manage safety. That's a confusion we normally do, because these are regulators. They're supposed to regulate. So when they are given the mandate with Parliament, does not mean that they have to manage. They have to look somebody who is competent. Now, somebody who is competent, what he's supposed to do? The objective is putting control measures in place to manage the risks, to mitigate road traffic incident and accident. Do we have it? We have zero. So accident happening is actually we have been allowed. So in profession we say that we have accident with loyalty, which are actually sponsored to happen. So those who are doing the road safety, they're just in triangulation. They're not helping anything, because we do not have a framework structure. And then the framework structure, the strategy plan, it must have what we call, strategy plan must have what we call a context. A context is what you want to achieve. Then after that one, now we go to what we call leadership and commitment, then planning. So that one cannot be done by government. Government are regulating. So what they're supposed to do, they're supposed to enforce it. For example, we have every vehicle must have an insurance. You see, insurance, we call it reactive. It only acts after road crashes which come in force. So we have also what we call proactive. Proactive, these are the control measures to uplift the culture of the people. So currently, the starting point is we have what we call prehistorical. Prehistorical take any form of culture. You behave the way you like. After historical, you go to what we call pathological. So pathological, the problem of pathological is that this one now is that where people does not want to listen, people do whatever they want, and now that's where the government is in pathological stage. So after that one now, what we are doing now, we go to what we call calculative. We identify that actually there's a problem which needs to be addressed. So now after calculative, now we agree. After agreeing, we say now we have to look at somebody who is competent, for giving the responsibility so that he will be answerable for road safety. For example, if you have given the responsibility, the government could be asking me, Constantine, what is happening? With my team, we go and do the research, investigation, then we give the government a report which can be implementable.
Kisumu Kakamega Road roundabout at Coptic Hospital. That is a known black spot. Actually, the governor of Kisumu, Anyang' Nyong'o, knows how it is called, a Konambaya, because every day we are having an incident.
Correct.
An accident there. So what do we do as road users? Do we go and make the roads ourselves? We have agencies that are being paid by the taxpayer money. They are in office in Nairobi. But what is happening in our rural areas or in our countryside? Nobody cares. But when an accident happens, you'll be surprised to find knee-jerk reactions and all sorts of press statements. Police are issuing statement here, NTSA have
like
woken up
yesterday
from their slumber.
Correct.
And then these are things that Okello will tell you that they would have been prevented if we had a system that is looking at what you call a continued improvement program, where we used to have engineers who would walk and move around, do patrols, check areas and get the what you call the witness account. But when you look at all these incidents, actually they are systematic. All these people who have died 60, 50 plus are because of a systematic failure. This systematic failure, you will find that it is in roads department, but it is very easy and convenient to blame the driver error all the time. Failing to know that when you are pointing, I'm pointing at you, three fingers are pointing back at me.
Correct.
So that means that we have the Moredat incident. Yes, we'll say that the driver error was concerned. But we know that Kenya Railways is a profit-making agency. And the law demands that in every level crossing they have what you call a barrier. A barrier and a marshal. Right now we are talking about unemployment. If we had all these railway crossing with barriers and marshals manning them in shifts, so we create jobs, because Kenya Railways is minting billions out of the transport it's doing. But then they cannot do that because we cannot kill all the, there is that one careless driver, there is that one below average or average driver who of course not be very keen, though we were told that there was a weather problem. The vehicle had misty windows and all that, and then nowadays trains no longer hoot, so they are just careless. I don't know whether everybody else is getting careless. So we are looking at these incidents at Moredat, and then you cannot kill all the drivers who are below average. That is why in civilized world we have what you call barriers that are mandatory. So a good lawyer is going to turn Kenya Railways into, I don't know what mint means, because they love to point at the motorists or that place, but you will find that we have that Kisumu, we have Namanga also.
Yes.
So in this week alone, we had incidents that all of them run into the systematic failure, because even when we want to blame the driver, Gunza. When we want to blame the driver is a product of good or bad governance. So the fish rots from
the head.
Yeah. So now, what is happening? If you look at the BBC exposure, where people are buying driving license over the counter. If you want the driving license right now, you just have to pay. I don't know whether it's 3,500 or 5 something.
3,000, 4,000, and you have it.
And you have the license. Yeah. You have not undergone the proper driver training. What are we talking about? Corruption. If you look at our roads, yes, the police officers, or we can call them the enforcement agencies, everywhere, instead of enforcing the law, they are picking that, I don't know whether they call it K50 or whatever, which translates to, it's not small money because it translates to 3 billion every month.
The bribes
are 3 billion.
hands between motorists and law enforcement.
Yeah, that is money that is enough to do these narrow roads. You see, if, in fact, Guza, let's just give the credit where it is due.
Yeah.
Kenyan drivers are the best in the world. Why? They drive under very difficult conditions, very narrow roads, two-way colonial roads. And you see there is urgency to do business, especially in the commercial vehicles. They have targets. Right now, taxes are so high. You have to run back and forth to make money. So what is happening? We, besides training, which is lacking even in the border sector, because you see them riding against traffic, riding towards oncoming traffic, where the police are doing enforcement, and they cannot even point a finger at them. So this is a systemic failure. As much as we'd love to complain, leadership, because we had Mishuki. What magic was Mishuki doing? CS Davis Chil cannot do. We have not heard the voice of Davis. We have not heard the people who have got the money that the money that is given to ensure that our roads are working. What is Kenha doing? Bumps are not marked. How do you drive? We do not have road signages in this country. You just drive into a familiar place, because most of these accidents, like the Kakamega or the other one that happened in Nyeri with that matatu known as Uppercut, they are driving at unfamiliar, unmarked roads which are unmarked, and there are no road signages. So you can imagine you are driving in a completely new environment, because people have to drive anyway. But they assume that Guza, there is a bump somewhere. What about someone coming from Mombasa?
For the first time.
Like the Pwani bus.
Correct.
Who met vehicles are stopping, and then he has come Kinongi, which is
steep.
Very steep. And you see, when we talk about road designs, if you look at Salga, when it was corrected and dualized, do you hear of accidents anymore?
Incidents have reduced.
So all this boils into a systemic failure by any other name. And we call the government, because we have seen in the developed world, we have 3 types of safety. The safety of the driver, the safety of roads, the safety of the vehicle. But what is happening in our inspections? We know that 90% of our commercial vehicles,
they are unloadworthy.
And they do not go for the inspection. And those people who do actually those inspections, I don't want to call them quacks, because they don't know what they are doing. All these roles that NTSA is doing, they have been overwhelmed, because I don't know who hipped all these laws to them. They removed some of these laws from even the National Police Service. Laws like accident reporting. Who attends to this accident? How then do you give that to NTSA? Driver testing. Police used to do that. Inspections, police used to do that. So right now, if you look at what NTSA is doing actually, even if we are demanding accountability from them, they are overwhelmed. They are the ones who are offering driver licensing, or let's say call it licensing of vehicles, licensing of all that. And then all those roles were removed from KRA, others were removed from the police and heaped on NTSA. So we'll have to look at, because we are sitting with in boards somewhere where we are currently working on what you call ensuring that we have reforms so that we can change this and have what you call, in fact, even instant fines. We are supposed to have instant fines so that when you commit an offense, so that you can remove all these bribes, and it is at advanced stage. It's supposed to start to be used because we have rolled out the smart number plates and smart DLs.
You see, we have something called hierarchy of controls. Hierarchy of controls either eliminates, you substitute, you put engineering control, or you use a PP. PP is the least one, or you put the administrative control. So when you're crossing the railway as a driver, it's a rule that you have to stop. But now the challenge is that we are not giving them the knowledge, because you have just said that in developed country. In fact, I did my study in Leiden University, where I learned how to develop the system. So what you're talking about, I have already developed it. It is here. ISO 39001, and I have already interpreted into a single way. It's only asking government, give us opportunity, we show you how safety is being done. But now you see now, they are opting to go for fining people. Why should you fine the people? What is happening is that we don't have internal system. So internal system is putting operational excellency into drivers, because we are going to work with the circles. So you put excellence there, whereby they learn safety. So after they learn safety now, the crime will go down. The bribery will go down automatically, because they are bribing because their vehicle does not comply. So we are going to eliminate all the faulty vehicles as internal system, because our system is not to punish somebody, it's to help them improve. And then they will be required to be sending a monthly report so that we hold them accountable, because we want to get the review. So what we have developed is that we have 3 controls. We have the first one, that the regulators, which Mr. Mrema is referring to as a government. The second one is safety function. Safety function, their main aim is to uplift the safety culture. Remember, I told you we are prehistorical. Okay, let me just remind you again. You see, if you are prehistorical, it was developed in 1950, whereby they used to use legislation and punishing people. You see, if you do the fault, we punish you. But now, current system is not about punishing the people. Current system is about lifting people the knowledge, the competency. So that's where we are today. So since I was there and I was seeing the country is struggling, I took my own time. I have spent almost 10 million to help the country, but no one is listening. People are just doing their own things, and what they are doing, we call them triangulations. Remember, in 2022, Mr. Njau was suspended about road accident, and he was brought back and he did the same mistake. Where are you going as a country? So we are a static country, we are not developing. We are only killing our people for nothing, absolutely nothing. Okay, and Mr. Mrema has said very well, they are being given money. What are they spending this money for? Because we don't need the money. We can say with their money, we need to be given all the space to implement safety the way it's supposed to be implemented, so that we uplift the culture of the people. You know, if you look at safety, is not an easy thing. Even the road marking is not an easy thing. So if somebody comes from the training school, he goes to drive on the road, it's just like taking a clean water, you put in diluted water. What's the consequence? You get a diluted thing. So even training does not make much sense. And that's why my friend here is saying that bribery is going on, everything bad is going on. So we say that we still have uncontrolled risk. I can tell you, no one is managing risk in this country. Since independence, no one. Okay, we talked about Michuki. What Michuki did, he never put the system in place, and that's why it went down immediately when he left. So what we need to do now, we need to use a new technology, and the new technology is that what we developed, people will be reporting on the phone, everybody, and you can report to me. Yeah, no one is a boss, even myself. When I was working abroad as a safety specialist, because I was working in a high risk area, if there's a day I remember a security guy caught me as a manager, what I did, I rewarded him. So the system we have set in Kenya is that if you talk about government, you are an enemy. So that one has really killed everything. So we are at a zero, and I'm telling you, I can tell you today that president is suffering because people who are fighting president are his employees, people who are sitting on the reforms in this country. This country has no jobs. If you look at Kenya now, we're 57.3 million. If you look at people who are working, it's only 21 million. 40 million people are not working and they must eat. Try to imagine where are these people going to eat. So I decided to come out and create the employment. I have talked to several professors. If you go to these ministries, we have very good professors, they listen. But they will tell you that even if you talk here, no one's going to implement. You see, they know the problem here it is. The biggest problem in this country is that the agencies, government agencies, they have stopped working completely. What they are doing, they are benefiting themselves. I can tell you for true because I have done the research, I have the report. If you want, I can share. If anyone wants, just call me, I'll share the report. I've taken 3 years to do the report, so I have everything I'm talking about. So what's going on in this country? If we cannot implement NTSA subsidiary legislation number 33 of 2012, section 5B, all things we are doing is waste of time.
Is it a waste of time?
We must implement because it's the road. You see, if you want to go somewhere, this is what we are doing, is what we call measurement, and it has the technology already inside. So we use what we call a controls. We have so many controls, so that if one fails, the other one will come to the mistake. We don't use a single thing. So we use so many things. You see, inspection of the vehicle is done once per year, correct? So once per year, vehicle is running on the rough road, bad road, it cannot be maintained. When was it developed? It was developed just to check if the system is existing. It does not serve any purpose at all. So it's just a regulatory compliance. So regulatory compliance does not improve safety culture because culture is what determines where people are going. But now, like safety, you see, we can develop a system today. We put on the people to test it. If it does not work properly, we withdraw it. We put another thing, and that's what we call risk assessment.
When you talk about our driving culture is wanting as much as also because we have also to look at ourselves, do an introspection as drivers. We have issues of speeding, competing. If you got to our highways during the weekend.
Just yesterday we saw a car, roll over on the expressway.
Machakos, on the expressway.
Yeah.
And then there is this other one in Machakos where they were going, I think, to a dowry.
Yes.
4 of them died because of speeding. And probably you are speeding is not bad. Speeding at wrong places is what is bad. Town, we are supposed to have not 50, 20 kilometers per hour. So speeding at wrong places. And this is where we are getting problems, even with the border, where you find them touching vehicles. They touched a bus at Donholm, Outer Ring Road. Why? Because they don't want to know whether they are always right. So we have this attitudinal problem, which also develops into DUIs and DWIs. I don't know whether that is too technical.
Break it down, please.
Driving under influence and also driving while intoxicated. Because driving under influence is what is wrong. It's not drinking. But if your drinking is influencing your driving, that is when you are supposed to be caught and